Hello, everyone, and welcome into Coach Craig's Sports. This is the MLB DFS Core Pick video, Core Pick live stream for today, July 31st. It's Monday. It's the last day of July at this point in time. If you are joining me for the very first time and have not already been accustomed to the way that I format these on Monday, I won't be doing a recap since it's been since Friday that we had some picks, but unfortunately, Friday was not the greatest day overall. We'll be going over the weather report for the games today. I believe 9-game main slate in total. Only really 2 games that we're watching out for weather-wise, so I'll highlight those 2. Then we'll go over to FanDuel, talk about my core 5 picks for today. It's going to be 1 pitcher, 4 hitters. Don't necessarily have to play all 5 together. Pick and choose the ones that you want. Obviously, a good day to mix and match once again. As I'll say, today and tomorrow, got the trade deadline, so there could be some additional value out there. Make sure you're watching out for that news just to make sure that your players that are in your lineups are still playing for the team that they're supposed to be playing for tonight. Let's just put it that way at the simplest form. And then last but not least, we'll go over to the YouTube community tab, take a look at my cheat sheet for today and the top GPP teams to stack. That cheat sheet is 100% free. It's up on Twitter. It's up on Facebook. It's on the YouTube community tab. And then if you want some more in-depth notes, be sure to check out the Patreon at patreon.com/Coach Craig Sports, Monday through Friday. Some additional notes there. Hitter versus pitcher matchups. Pitchers, whether I would consider them in play, avoid, or a risky play for today. And then some additional stacks depending on the size of the slate, since only about 4 fit on the cheat sheet in general. But without further ado, we'll get started by highlighting some of the weather reports for today. So, like I said, only really 2 games that we're looking at today. So we have this Tampa Bay and New York game, 15% chance of rain there. Everything else is single digits today besides that, and the Colorado game down here where the Rockies are playing the Padres. That game is in Coors Field. So obviously on Colorado, weather could change on a dime, but we never know at this point in time, but 62% chance of rain. So probably a game that will be interesting if it does ultimately end up going off. We got the Coors Field effect there, but the pricing is obviously boosted up on those players since it seems like FanDuel's really been taking an issue with that this season and making those guys more expensive in general. So kind of get some exposure to that if you can. Just be paying attention to the weather in case the game does not ultimately go off, and then we can swap off to some other players. But if anything else does ultimately end up changing weather-wise, we'll leave it down in the comments as the day moves along. So definitely make sure you're checking out back there as we get closer to lock, so you can get those weather updates and the starting lineups as well. But with that being said, I'm going to get off this page. We're going to go over to FanDuel and talk about the core picks that I do have for today overall. So let me get that brought up here on the FanDuel side, and we'll get talking. So once again, 1 pitcher, 4 hitters. We got JP France here at $8,700. I believe like his 15th career start now. He's going against Cleveland Indians. He's actually been pitching pretty well. So getting about 30 points per start at this point in time, $8,700. One of the cheaper, reasonably priced pitchers at this point in time. 6 wins on the season, a 2.87 ERA. Been pitching a lot better than I expected him to be, if we're being honest. If you go back, he had that 1 start versus Cleveland earlier this year. I believe it was 39 points versus Cleveland. So that was back on June 10th. Pretty solid start there, minus the 6 walks. That was kind of the downfall for him. But other than that, was a pretty good start. If we can get anything close to that out of him once again today, is going to look pretty good overall. Obviously, if you don't want to play him, go to the cheat sheet. You got Corbin Burns there. You got Charlie Morton there. If you want to risk Nick Pivetta at $8,000, you can do that as well. He's been striking out a lot of batters as of late. So a couple different options there out there if you want to go to Tyler Glasnow on the high end as well. So those would probably be the 5 pitchers that I'm getting to in general today. Then we're going to move down into our hitters. We got Matt Olson here. He's $4,100, averaging about 14 fantasy points per game on the season. 259 average, 35 home runs, 88 RBIs. So really solid season for him once again. He is 4 for 16 with 2 home runs versus Griffin Cannon, who is pitching for the Los Angeles Angels today against the Braves. So I do like that. Obviously, the power upside is there. Average could be a little bit better versus Cannon, but at the same time, does offer quite a bit of upside, and we've seen Matt Olson have a little bit of upside as of late. We got 3 home runs in his last 4 games, a 5-game modest hitting streak at this point in time. So like the upside that he does present once again, and don't mind doing him with a Brave stack, which we'll be talking a little bit more about later. Then we're going to keep moving down. So we got Gunnar Henderson at third base. You could also play him at shortstop if you really wanted to do so. He is $3,400, averaging just over 10 fantasy points on the season. A little bit up or down as of late, but the good games have been pretty good. At the same time, 2 for 3 with 1 home run in his career versus Chris Bassett, who is the expected starter for the Toronto Blue Jays today. So definitely like the upside that could be had there. Obviously, the shortstop and third base versatility helps him out a little bit. This game in general is one that I do like attacking player-wise, whether it's the Orioles side side or the Blue Jays side, which we'll be talking a little bit more about when we get to the top stack. So Gunnar Henderson, some pretty good upside there, a little bit of downside at the same time, but do like him today, especially if you're going after some type of Orioles stack. Then we're going to keep moving down. So we got Wander Franco at $3,600, averaging about 11.5 fantasy points per game on the season. We got the 267 average. We got 12 home runs. We got 48 RBIs and been stealing some more bases this year. So he has been a pretty effective player. He is 3 for 7 in his career versus Domingo Germán. He's on a modest 3-game hitting streak at this point in time. Rays are one of those teams that I do like stacking today, which of course we'll be getting to very, very soon. And double-digit points out of Wander Franco the past 3 games, as well as that 3-game hitting streak. So do like him. Got the history there with Domingo Germán. Been on a little bit of a hot streak as of late. So do like the upside that does come with Wander Franco in general. And then last but not least, probably a name that we don't expect here too often, but it's Adam Frazier. Only 239 average on the season, which is kind of low for him. 13 home runs, 49 RBIs, maybe selling out for a little bit more power. He is averaging about 8.5 fantasy points. $2,700. You can play him at second base. You can play him at outfield. If you're going with that Baltimore Orioles stack, does make some sense there. But we're talking about a guy that is 2 for 8 with 1 home run versus Chris Bassett in his career. So some decent history there. I do like what he's been doing a little bit as of late too. You got the home run yesterday, the game before that. So he's been right around that 12, or, he's been right around that 9 points or more a lot of the games as of late. So could be a pretty good one. 5 out of the last 6 games that he started, he has at least 1 hit in. So a little bit of a safe floor there. Pay down option. If you don't want to go with them, makes some sense. But I think there is some upside that could be had there today. Obviously, a guy that you want to make sure is in that starting lineup, given the construction of the Baltimore Orioles at this point in time. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players, you have $12,500 remaining, just over $3,100 per player. So a good amount of room, whether you want to pay up for some additional players or if you want to go with a more balanced build. Definitely a lot of different ways that we can do it today. Once again, mix and matching is going to look very good. Makes a lot of sense. But with that being said, we're going to get off of FanDuel, go over to the YouTube community tab and talk about those top GPP teams to stack for today overall. So let me get that up here real quickly as we're talking through it. And like I said, there's 4 on here. I like the Brewers as well. I like the Orioles as well, which the Orioles I highlighted 2 of their players in my core 5. So you could probably make a case that they should be on here. I thought about really putting the Brewers on here as well. Going against Jake Irvin could be a very good matchup for them, but these are the 4 that I do have here. So we got the Tampa Bay Rays going against Domingo Germán. The 2 main ones today for the Rays that have had good success versus Domingo Germán going to be Yandy Diaz and Wander Franco. If you want to play anybody else in their lineup, makes a lot of sense. I kind of like Josh Lowe today too. He's down to $3,100 at this price and time. So him, Wander Franco, and Yandy Diaz all in a lineup makes a lot of sense to me. If you want to stick a 4th one in there, would be something to consider as well. Then we have the Toronto Blue Jays. Really good history here versus Kyle Gibson, whether it's Vladimir Guerrero Jr., whether it is Whit Merrifield, whether it's Danny Jansen, who's up to like $3,100 for some reason at this point in time. So who knows if you want to get to him today. We got Brandon Belt with some good history as well. Matt Chapman, not a lot of history there, but a lot of different ways that we could attack that Blue Jays team overall. Then we have the Atlanta Braves. Not a lot of history there versus Griffin Canning. So he hasn't pitched against them this year. He didn't pitch against them last year since everything else that was going on for him last year. So it's really just like a Matt Olson, Marcell Ozuna. Those guys have pretty good history versus him. And then a little bit of others sprinkled here and there that have faced him even. But like the upside that the Braves team could have in general, Austin Riley has been doing really well. So maybe if you want to throw in Austin Riley or Ronald Acuna alongside Marcell Ozuna and Matt Olson, could make some sense. Obviously, probably paying down a little bit at that pitcher position, whether it's JP France or someone else. And then last but not least, we got the Houston Astros. Not a long history versus Noah Syndergaard, who is making his debut for the Cleveland Indians. He's also coming off a weird finger blister injury where he's been out for a while. So we'll see how that looks, see how far he actually ultimately ends up pitching in the game, but do like the Astros and the upside that they could present today. So definitely a lot of options we can go there, whether it's Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman, anybody else you want from their lineup. Kyle Tucker obviously been doing pretty well. Jeremy Pena is really cheap. He got into my cheat sheet just for that reason at $2,600. So a lot of different ways that we could attack this Astros team today. Good day to mix and match as always, once again. But with that being said, that's pretty much what I have at this point in time for MLB DFS core picks for today, for this video, for this live stream, in terms of the cheat sheet, in terms of the core picks, in terms of the weather report for today. If you guys have any additional questions whatsoever, feel free to drop them down in the comments and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Also, be sure to let me know your favorite plays on today's slate, whether it is someone from my core 5 picks, whether it's someone from my top GPP stacks, or whether it's a completely different player that you guys think I missed. Definitely interested in hear what you had to say. But with that being said, that's pretty much what I have at this point in time. If you are brand new to my channel, checking this video out for the very first time, first of all, welcome in. Second of all, would ask that you do subscribe. Definitely helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS right now. It's MLB DFS Monday through Friday, and then we have some CFL DFS one day a week too, the day before the first game of the slate, typically on Wednesday. Last week, it ultimately ended up being on Thursday. Was fortunate enough to take down a single game showdown slate for the Edmonton and I believe that was BC Lions game this past week. So that was exciting to do. First takedown for CFL this season. So definitely be sure to check out that content. Been very helpful for me and a few others that have been consuming it as well. But with that being said, if you are brand new to my channel, have yet to do so, but with that being said, if you are brand new to my channel and have yet to subscribe, I can't talk right now. But with that being said, if you are a brand new subscriber or you have yet to subscribe and turn on those notifications, please do so. Definitely let you know every single time post up a pre-recorded video or go live for a stream like this. But with that being said, that's all that I do have at this point in time. Definitely do appreciate each and every one of you tuning in, whether you're watching live or on replay. Definitely means a lot to me. Hopefully each and every one of you have a great rest of your day and some pretty good luck in MLB DFS tonight.